question?
Yes.
How can you make something out of nothing? Like,
Oh.
how?
How can you make something out of nothing?
Awesome.
According to the human brain and the human intelligence, there has to be something for it to become something. But that something is so subtle, it's so refined, that we call it nothing. Because human beings or human comprehension has not been able to grasp or research that absolute nothingness, absolute something, everythingness. In their instruments, they have not been able to take it in their laboratories. There is no ephemerical proof that this something is there, and therefore for all practical purposes we call it nothing. This is the human explanation, and I'm sure that you will be happy with this. But I go further. I say, even if there is nothing, God can make creation out of nothing. That's why God is God and we are we. He can do the impossible, do the illogical, do the unreasonable, do that which is beyond human comprehension. Otherwise, what's the difference between God and man? That's why God is God, because He goes beyond human comprehension. Even the highest imagination, even the highest genius, even the highest intuition, even the highest God cannot comprehend what the Lord God can do. Can we humble ourselves at this juncture? Right? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logic. How can you out of nothing create something? But God does not create something out of nothing. He creates everything out of nothing. So then, the catch-22 comes. Either call everything nothing or call everything something. Everything. Call it either everything or call it nothing. But my further logic to this is we human beings have the table and the chair and our bodies and this thing, so we have to be practical, pragmatic and call it something. The creation is something. It's matter, it's iron, it's silicon, it's flesh, blood and bones and teeth and calcium. We have to call it something. Right? But don't tell God what He should call whatever. Out of the nothing is everything created. Out of the nothing is everything created. I'm going to stop here till you settle down. So the young gentleman has asked the question, what's your name? Bhanu. Bhanu has asked the question, how can something be created out of nothing? I believe I made this statement somewhere in one of my talks.
I remember that when I was listening to your audiobook.
The audiobook. Out of the nothing is the everything created. Right?
Right.
So I'm going to repeat the answer. Out of the nothing, the everything is created. The first answer is, at the human level, the human tin-ticking mind of, say, the Newton or the Einstein or the Jagdish Chandra Bose, the great scientists, or even the secondary gods, like the god of wind, fire, water, Neptune, Zeus, Agni, Varun, even the secondary gods, the answer would be that out of the nothing, everything is created. This has been said because That nothing is not comprehensible by man. He has not been to it. None of his scientific equipments, nor his five senses, nor his sixth sense, nor his seventh sense has been able to grasp that state of consciousness. The state of divine mind is a homogeneous state. It is the fabric of universal homogeneous light. It's one, it's plain. And when at the beginning of time the homogeneous light gets a ripple of the divine thought, by permutation, combination, it makes creation. Light creates sound, sound creates form. Form intensifies by permutation, combination, from the subatomic gunas, astral gunas, to the subatomic electron, protons and neutrons, which make the atom, which make the molecules, which make the living cell and therefore make life. So, nothing here could mean that it is so subtle that it's not comprehensible by man and the secondary gods, therefore we call it nothing, but it has to be, something is made out of something. Nothing cannot be created out of
Nothing.
or something cannot be created out of nothing. I go a step further. Now I've given the first argument, it's satisfactory, that it's so subtle beyond the human senses, beyond the five senses that, and the instruments, that we cannot grasp that frequency of isness. God is the isness. God is the isness of the zero, not zero. God is the isness of the being, not being. Yet He is above being and not being. He is above matter and spirit. What He is, we know not what. That's why God is God. And if you really speak of God and you want to know His majesty or how superior He is to the human being, yes, God has the power to create the whole creation out of nothing. It's not a subtle thing even. That's why God is God and man is man. Because man's understanding stops. The Sankhya philosophy proved it thousands of years ago under the Rishi Kapil. 200, 300 years BC, 600 years BC. They said that nothing can come from nothing. Only something, no matter how small. So therefore, bereft of all religion and cults and creed, I practice a scientific pathway to know the truth that is me. The physical body is, the hand is not me, the eye is not me. It gets injured, it dies, decays in death. What is that survives? That which survives my physical body. That's my supreme consciousness. To that end, the only purpose of man's sojourn on this earth is to seek the supreme indweller, the divine indweller. All else is secondary details. All religions are secondary details. Don't believe unless you know. Then how do we know? Practice the necessary means to achieve the necessary ends. Don't push your cult or religion on others. You don't be my religion, I'm going to shoot you. These things are happening in the Middle East. Shocking. That man can be a brute and man can be the God. So yoga is a method to transform you. It's a method of transformation. It's an alchemy of total transformation. To transform you from man the brute to man the man to man the God. The person the brute to person the man to person the God. The alchemy of total transformation. I have to talk very fast because I have to hold your attention span. That's why I did speed up. And now since you're all with me, you must tune into my magnetism, where I'll pull you to me, and you must feel the energy that I'm giving you. Mind is obsolete. It's about 1 million years old. Discard it. Like your iPhones you discard every year. The knowingness is important and awareness, not the mind. You go into a library, inhale, walk out. You know the knowledge of the whole library. Mind is very slow and cumbersome. Okay, next question.